When people think about change, they imagine something huge, a breakthrough moment, a turning point in their life, something dramatic that transforms everything overnight. But the truth is, real change doesn't happen in these sudden leaps. It happens in quiet, consistent steps that compound over time. Because small steps, repeated daily, create unstoppable momentum. They build habits, identity, and trust. And not just with others, but within yourself. I'm your host, Isaac, and today on the Standards of Excellence podcast, we're diving into how small steps create massive change. Why the path to greatness always begins smaller than you think, and how focusing on progress instead of perfection can be the transformation point in your life. Our culture glorifies big moments, the massive transformation, the viral success, the overnight results. But what you see in public is the result of what someone practiced in private for years. The problem is, when we only measure success in big milestones, we ignore the small actions that make them possible. The book that changed the world started with a single sentence. The athlete who became a champion started with one disciplined workout. The business that grew into an empire began with one small decision: to start. The illusion of big change distracts us from the reality that small things done consistently are more powerful than the big things done occasionally. There's a story from an Eastern tradition about the Chinese bamboo tree. When the seed is planted, nothing happens for the first year, or the second year, even the third year. You water it, you care for it, you give it sunlight, and yet the ground shows you nothing. Most people would stop watering. Most people would give up, assuming the seed failed. But the truth is, something incredible is happening, just not where you can see it. In the 5th year, 5 whole years after planted, the bamboo finally breaks through the soil, and in a matter of weeks, it can grow up to 80 feet tall. Now ask yourself, did it grow 80 feet in 5 weeks or in 5 years? The answer is both. Because the unseen years built the root system strong enough to sustain the visible growth. That's what small steps do. They build the root of transformation long before the world sees the results. In psychology and behavioral science, this is known as the compounding effect. Every small action, even one that feels insignificant, contributes to the greater pattern. Each small repetition reinforces a neural pathway, a behavior, a belief. The first workout doesn't change your body. The first book doesn't change your mind. The first act of courage doesn't change your life. But repeated, they become a system, a self-reinforcing loop of growth. Small steps lower resistance. They bypass fear. They create psychological momentum. Because big change feels intimidating, but small steps feel doable. Once you start, your brain adapts, creating motivation where there was once hesitation. Momentum is born not from massive effort, but from manageable beginnings. There's another story, pretty simple but powerful. It's about a traveler who comes across 3 bricklayers working on a wall. He asks the first one, "What are you doing?" The guy replies, "I'm laying bricks." The second one, he says, "I'm building a wall." The third one, he says, "I'm building a cathedral." Each man was doing the exact same task, one brick at a time. The difference was in how they viewed their small steps. To the first, it was just labor. To the second, it was a project. To the third, it was about purpose. When you connect your small actions to a larger meaning, they stop feeling small. They become sacred, each one a contribution to something greater. That's how massive change happens, not through grand gestures, but through vision attached to daily effort. Progress is one of the most powerful motivators in human psychology. Even tiny visible wins, crossing something off of a list, finishing a workout, or hitting a small milestone, create a dopamine reaction that fuels more action. This is known as the progress principle. The sense of forward motion, no matter how small, activates the reward center in your brain, creating a self-sustaining loop of motivation. That's why tracking small wins is so powerful. It proves to your subconscious mind that effort equals movement. And the more progress you record, the more progress you create. It's not about perfection, it's about continuity. Because the compounding effect doesn't require intensity, it requires consistency. Small wins build confidence. Confidence builds effort. And effort is what builds the very excellence we are pushing for today. So how do you apply this principle into your daily life? You build a system of small steps. Step 1 is starting ridiculously small. Shrink your goals until they're impossible to resist. If your goal is to read more, start with 1 page. If it's fitness, start with 5 minutes. You're not training performance, you're training consistency. Step 2, anchor the habit. Attach your small steps to an existing routine. For example, after I make coffee, I'm gonna write for 2 minutes. Habits grow faster when they have an anchor. Step 3 is measure the process, not the outcome. Don't obsess over results, track the action. The results will take care of themselves when the system is solid. Step 4 is celebrating the small wins. Every time you complete your small step, make sure you take time to acknowledge it. That celebration reinforces your identity as someone who takes action. Step 5, let patience do its work. Small steps compound slower than you would expect, until suddenly they compound faster than you can imagine. That's how growth works. Invisible, then exponential. The most important progress is the kind that you can't see yet. Every small step you take, every habit repeated, every moment you resist quitting, is strengthening the roots beneath your growth. Don't mistake silence for stagnation. Don't mistake slow for stuck. Massive change doesn't announce itself to the public. It unfolds quietly in the hours that you think don't matter, in the days you nearly give up but don't. The real transformation happens in private long before it's visible in public. That's why the most powerful thing you can do for your future is simple. Show up and take the next step. Don't chase these giant leaps, but build these foundations. The grandest achievements are made of ordinary efforts repeated faithfully. So today, take your step. Not the perfect step, not the finishing step, just the next one. Because over time, small movements become momentum, and momentum becomes transformation. Thanks for listening to the Standards of Excellence podcast. If today's message inspired you, share it with someone who feels stuck, and remind them that greatness begins one small step at a time. Until next time, pursue excellence, keep taking the small steps forward, and make today matter.